Welcome to the third Parva of Mahabharata titled Aranyaka Parva, which deals with the stay of the Pandavas in the forest. After having lost everything that they owned, Pandavas pick up their weapons and with their wife Draupadi move towards the forest. With them also is their priest Dhaumya and a few hand-picked servants who have worked for them in Indraprastha. The citizens of Hastinapura, when they find out about what had happened to the Pandavas, fearlessly curse and censure all the elders of the Kuru dynasty. They curse Dhritarashtra and Vidura and Drona and Bhishma and Kripa and everyone and say the poor righteous Pandavas had been wronged. Many of them, in thousands, decide to follow the Pandavas into the forest. At the entrance of the Kamyaka Vana, the forest where they are eventually going to enter, Yudhishthira turns and talks to them and advises them to not follow them and to not live the life of suffering that they had chosen for themselves. Instead, he says, the elders whom you are cursing are actually our well-wishers and they need your help, support and protection more than we do from the evil sons of Dhritarashtra. Yudhishthira convinces them to go back. But a group of hundreds of Brahmanas do not listen and instead say, we will follow you and live with you. Yudhishthira says, I don't know how to take care of you. We used to have vast resources with which we could have taken care of you, fed you, helped your education and your rituals. But now we have nothing. I have made my brothers suffer enough, and now it would be too much to ask my brothers to not just look after food arrangements for themselves, but also for all of you while you're busy with your yajnas and rituals. The Brahmanas say, don't worry about us, we will manage. One of the more intelligent ones in that group, named Shaunaka, takes this moment and advises King Yudhishthira and all his brothers and wife about the wisdom of Sankhya Yoga. This long lecture is very reminiscent of how Bhagavad Gita is eventually going to be in the Bhishma Parva, coming from the mouths of Lord Sri Krishna himself. We get a glimpse of that now. Yudhishthira is still unconvinced that he will have resources to feed all the Brahmanas. So their priest, Dhaumya, advises him to pray to Lord Surya. Lord Surya is happy and blesses Draupadi by giving her a copper vessel with divine properties. That copper vessel will never run out of food for anybody who is the guest of the Pandavas until Draupadi has finished eating her meal. So now the food for the Brahmanas having been taken care of, hundreds of them follow the Pandavas into the forest of Kamyaka. Back in Hastinapura, a lot of things are happening. Vidura once again confronts Dhritarashtra and tells him that in listening to Duryodhana and Karna and Shakuni, Dhritarashtra, the king, has made a major blunder and he should still try to fix it and bring the sons of Pandu back. Dhritarashtra loses it this time and he says, I've been observing you, O Vidura. All that you ever do is talk on the behalf of Pandavas and only wish for their good. You've never once spoken about the great victory that we have attained over the entire world, having defeated the Pandavas and taken over their kingdom. If this is what you're going to talk about, I don't really need you, he says, and he banishes Vidura, who eventually decides the only safe place for him is to go and live in the same forest that Yudhishthira and his brothers have gone to. As he reaches the forest and has started to talk with the Pandavas, back home, Dhritarashtra starts regretting his rash behavior. He immediately sends Sanjaya, who is his charioteer, to go and fetch Vidura back with deepest apologies from the side of the king. But because of this news, Duryodhana and Shakuni, who have been rejoicing the banishment of Vidura, are now upset. And they start wondering if Vidura will eventually be able to convince Dhritarashtra to bring back the Pandavas, thereby ensuring that their victory is once again useless. Karna has had enough of this bickering. He says, stop plotting to kill the Pandavas and behave like Kshatriyas. They are weak and helpless now. Let's go and attack and kill them now. And as the Kaurava army starts getting ready, Krishna Dvaipayana Vedavyasa, who finds out this is going to happen using his divine vision, immediately reaches Hastinapura and starts advising Dhritarashtra to control his wayward son and to stop this madness. Along with Vyasa, there was another sage called Maitreya who had come. And he tells a few stories. Maitreya feels ill-treated by Duryodhana, who has not been paying attention to all the stories that he has been telling to warn him. In fact, he wanted to tell the story of Kirmira, but Duryodhana was not paying attention and was almost cursed. Maitreya walks away without telling the story of Kirmira, but Duryodhana is curious. Eventually, he hears the story of Kirmira from Vidura, who has just returned back from the Kamyaka forest himself. When the Pandavas first entered that forest, he confronts them and after talking to them figures out that in this group is Bhimasena, the one who killed Bakasura and Hidimba. Hidimba is Kirmira's friend and Bakasura, whom Bhima had killed in Ekachakra, is Kirmira's brother. And he has always been seeking vengeance upon Bhima. And when they fight with each other, Bhima is actually happy that he got a chance to fight against someone whom he will be able to take down once again. In due course, after a ferocious war, Bhima ends up killing Kirmira, and now the forest of Kamyaka is the Pandavas to live in with no one blocking their way.